scared or nervous, man. Like, I just got up and did it.
In the right place at the right time, what one teen says happened during an interview that he couldn't help but stop, and how it helped him land the job.
And concerns grow today. The progress on the La Jolla fire still burning right now. How crews plan to step it up. Plus, the danger they'll face in the coming hours.
Also breaking overnight, the death toll continues to climb following multiple explosions in Brussels. Who's claiming or who they believe could be tied to it all, and we'll have the very latest on the investigation. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to KRQE News 13 this morning. I'm Adam Atchison.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Krista Gutierrez. Today is Tuesday, March 22nd. We'll get to that breaking news in just a bit. But first, we do have team coverage this morning. The fire still burning in La Jolla. That's just south of Belen. Kristen Curry standing by in the Weather Center, tracking the latest on the fire danger across the state. But first, Catherine Mazzone live in La Jolla, where the fire is active at this time. It's said to be a very pivotal day for firefighters battling that blaze in the Bosque, again, just south of Belen.
Yeah, and the concern, high winds that are expected to move in that could mean big trouble for crews working to keep the fire from spreading. As of last night, it was not contained at all. News 13's Catherine Mazzone, as we mentioned, live in or near La Jolla, just a few miles from the fire's incident command post. Catherine, what's the latest?
Adam, you can't see a whole lot in the darkness, but you're right. I'm about a mile to 2 miles north of La Jolla right now. And to the west is just obviously darkness, but it's where nearly 300 acres have burned, and we were in the same spot yesterday, and we could see the scorched earth spanning just a wide area of the Bosque. A couple of things that are making this difficult for firefighters. You have access issues, there's a lot of brush and loose sand, and it's also a remote area, so it's making it tough. And what's going to make it even tougher today is a red flag warning for high winds. It could send them back to square one, in fact. But despite the threat, firefighters are optimistic. They say they're making progress, and the La Jolla one sparked Sunday. Just as a reminder, investigators believe it is human caused, but they don't know exactly sure how it was caused, whether it was a transformer, some sort of spark from a person. They're just not sure. So far, the good news is no one has been injured, not a firefighter, not a resident, and no structures are currently threatened, and no structures have been damaged. But more about that red flag warning, I want to send it over to Kristen Curry. Kristen?
Thank you, Catherine. Yes, the red flag warning in effect later on this morning. At this hour, the wind's actually very light in both Belen and Socorro. Not reporting any wind right now, but you'll look at today's winds by the later part of this afternoon, easily getting up to 30 miles per hour out of the west-southwest. So that is going to make for some very dangerous conditions for firefighters later on this afternoon. You'll notice the wind speeds across the state. This is about as light as it'll be for the next 48 hours. Here's the red flag warning Catherine is mentioning. That goes for everybody here in New Mexico due to those wind gusts likely to get over 50 miles per hour in many areas of the state. Humidity's in the single digits this afternoon and near record highs across central and eastern New Mexico. So we're talking critical to even extreme fire danger this afternoon. Strong winds and blowing dust from state line to state line before a cold front gets in here later tonight and cools us down significantly for tomorrow. A lot going on in today's forecast. I'll break down everything you need to know for your community coming up.
All right, Kristen, we'll see you then. In the meantime, we're going to be following the latest on this fire throughout the day. We'll keep you up to date on air and on the KRQE News app.
Now on to breaking news. A quick update for you on the breaking news we've been covering all morning long, including the deadly explosions in Brussels. Just a few moments ago, CBS News reporting at least 28 people are dead, more than 50 injured after two explosions rocked the Brussels airport. Another blast at a metro station nearby. This is video of all of the chaos as it unfolded this morning just into our newsroom. Information at this time still pouring in right now. According to reports, though, one blast happened outside security checkpoints near ticketed passengers. The other near an American Airlines desk in a departure hall. That happened around 8 o'clock this morning, Belgium time. At least one of those blasts said to have been a suicide bombing. Local media reports another blast happened at a subway station not far from the U.S. Embassy. Right now, the city completely shut down at this time. All of the city's transportation, that does include buses and metro trains. Taxi and cab drivers told and asked to give free rides to those in need. This comes after Belgium has been on high alert following the arrest of the Paris attack suspect, Salah Abdeslam. That was just last Friday. However, the big concern right now is the alleged bomb maker in the Paris attacks has not been found or arrested. Officials will be analyzing the explosives in this morning's blast to that of the Paris attacks to determine if these two are connected. We will continue following this story all morning long. Be the very latest here on KRQE News 13 on our website, krqe.com.
6:05 now, and Albuquerque police continue the crackdown on reckless driving this morning. So far, they've issued more than 1,600 tickets as part of what's called Operation Lily.
To get upset and angry, you're facing an open count of murder by pulling out a gun.
Operation Lily is named after 4-year-old Lily Garcia, who was gunned down in a road rage incident on I-40 last year. After the little girl's death, state police and local law enforcement have made it a point to crack down on reckless drivers. Lily's father says he believes his family's tragedy can help create change.
We definitely wish we had our daughter at home where she belongs instead of at a cemetery. So seeing her name, gives us hope that other people are paying attention.
The police say they are looking for speeders, people who follow too closely, drag racing, or even texting while driving.
On to news happening right now. The state's budget situation remains bleak this morning. Analysts say New Mexico is withdrawing more money from reserves this year than it has in at least 2 decades. More than $400 million is being used to pay for day-to-day government operations during this fiscal year. The Legislative Finance Committee met yesterday to discuss the new revenue estimates. Much of that is based on dropping oil and gas revenues. That's all due to falling oil prices.
This Good Friday, a family whose world was rocked by tragedy will join the faithful on the Chimayo pilgrimage. Isaac Mendoza suffered a traumatic brain injury when he was hit while riding his motorcycle near I-40 in Unser in July. A GoFundMe campaign's been set up for his medical expenses, and now a walk during the pilgrimage will also raise money. The family says it will go to medical experiments and to get their house modified for Isaac. Insurance, they say, is not covering everything, which is why they need to fundraise. If you would like to help out, learn more information, go to our website, krqe.com.
On to a big talker this morning. Today's hearing, centering on Apple's encryption battle with the federal government, is now being postponed. The decision came after federal prosecutors told the California judge that an outside party identified a possible way to unlock the iPhone belonging to one of the San Bernardino shooters. The government plans to file a status report with the court by April 5th.
Next year, built-in safety technology that used to be available in only the most expensive new vehicles will now be standard on nearly every Lexus and Toyota Model 2. Those enhancements include automated braking, vehicle detection, and lane departure alerts. The car maker says that they'll be built into almost every new vehicle by the end of 2017. Auto braking is set to become standard on many new cars by the year 2020.
A 16-year-old accused of killing another teen is being treated as a juvenile this morning. A judge decided Aaron Garcia could be rehabilitated yesterday. He was 15 when he allegedly shot and killed Daniel Caleb Williams. That was at a cabin in Red River. Williams was a well-known snowboarder. Garcia claimed it was an accident. During a recent hearing, prosecutors argued it was premeditated and involved a sawed-off shotgun, and that Garcia was abusing drugs since he was 12.
Happening now, Santa Fe police are on the lookout for an accused thief with some style. In this surveillance video, you can see the man as he walks into the giant gas station on Sawmill Road last week. Authorities say he buys cigarettes, then minutes later walks up to the counter, pulls out a gun, and grabs cash from the register. Authorities say the man was clean-shaven and wore a fedora, blue dress pants, and black dress shoes.
Back in Albuquerque, police say this man and a woman are running amok with an 89-year-old woman's money. Surveillance video captured the two as they made some big purchases at a Lowe's. They're wanted for forgery, fraud, and ID theft, and for draining the victim's bank account. The woman has a distinctive tattoo on her chest, and she carries a large maroon purse. If you know who they are, you're asked to call police.
Time now 6:09. Developing this morning, Albuquerque's club soccer team is now looking to grow into a minor league team, but they say they'll need a stadium. The team currently plays home games at St. Pius High School, but if the general manager of the team gets his way, they could be on a much bigger stage.
The big picture in mind is to go MLS by 2024.
In 2 years, Espinoza plans to have the Albuquerque Soul join the United Soccer League. Plans include a $10 million facility that could be expanded in the future. He says he already has some big investors on board, and he's just looking for the perfect spot.
A New Orleans teen who was looking for a job made a big impression during his interview at a local Popeyes restaurant. Listen to this story. The high school lineman stopped a robbery in progress. The thief grabbed cash from a register and was trying to get away when the 18-year-old jumped in to help out. Listen.
I don't think I remember me just getting him and putting his hand behind his back, that's all. I wasn't scared or nervous, nothing like that. I just got up and did it.
You don't mess with the lineman. Devin did not stop there. He was able to hold the robber until police did arrive. The man is charged with simple robbery. Devin says he had to do something to help the woman being robbed. Of course, he got the job. He starts this week.
And nobody's going to mess with him now. Can you imagine that happening during an interview?
Oh, no. Could you imagine, though, you seeing somebody do that during an interview?
Good point.
You're like, yes, you're hired as our security.
Terror that our daughter has been put through is unforgivable.
Custody battle rages on. The law that's allowing a foster child to be returned to her biological family after 4 years. Plus, what her foster parents are vowing this morning.
And an attempt to end DWI, a first look at a new commercial the state is hoping will catch your attention and make an impact.
Plus, after a heated debate, the measure is passed. But even supporters of the controversial project are asking questions today. Their concerns coming up. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to KRQE News 13 this morning. I'm Krista Gutierrez.
And I'm Adam Atchison. We're starting at Tuesday, March 22nd, and we will begin with team coverage of a fire still burning this morning near La Jolla, near Belen. Kristen Curry is standing by in the Weather Center, tracking the very latest on the fire danger building across the state today. But first, we're going to turn to Catherine Mazzone, who's live near La Jolla, where the fire is still active this morning. Catherine, what's the latest?
Adam, that's right. I'm about 1 to 2 miles from La Jolla. That's where the incident command post is at Our Lady of Sorrows Church. Now, to the south of me, that's where it is, but to the west, that's where it's about 300 acres of scorched earth. We were in the same spot about 24 hours ago, more than 24 hours ago, and saw about 300 acres. So a couple of things that are going to happen today. First of all, the high winds that are expected, that could really make it difficult for firefighters, but they have been preparing for that. One thing that they haven't had much control over is the terrain. They're in a remote area, and the heavy brush and loose sands, it's making it difficult to fight this fire. Officials say a red flag warning. Again, we talked about that, but despite that threat, firefighters are optimistic. They say they're making progress, and the fire sparked Sunday, as a reminder. While investigators believed it's human caused, they're still investigating the details. They're not clear as to whether maybe someone sparked a blaze with a hoe, or it could take something very small these days because, as Kristen will soon talk about, it is so dry out there. So I'm going to send it over to Kristen, who will tell us more about those red flag warnings. Kristen?
Thank you, Catherine. That's exactly right. It doesn't take much to get an extremely bad situation going, especially with the winds that we have in the forecast this afternoon. I wanted to update you on the conditions surrounding the La Jolla fire area in particular. At this point, we don't have any strong winds around the fire, but take a look at that windcast as we get towards about lunchtime. I suspect that is those winds to get over 20. They get worse than that later on to this afternoon as we see sustained speeds exceed 30 miles per hour. Across the state right now, we're still breezy out in Las Vegas as well as Ruidoso and Alamogordo with sustained speeds of about 15. Here's what we're talking about when it comes to that red flag warning. That includes everybody here in New Mexico. Wind gusts over 50, humidity down to the single digits, and near record highs for parts of central and eastern New Mexico. So critical to extreme fire danger will be our top priority today. Even the blowing dust likely to drop visibility in some areas. I'll break down everything you need to know in today's forecast here in about 15 minutes.
All right, thanks, Kristen. We will be following the latest on this fire throughout the day. We'll keep you up to date on air and through our KRQE News app. On now to breaking news that we've been following all morning long out of Brussels. Right now, at least 28 people are reported dead, more than 50 injured after two explosions rock the Brussels airport. Another blast at a metro station there, And this is a live look from the airport of all the chaos that was unfolding earlier today. As you can see, officials still there trying to find out information as to who is behind the deadly blast this morning. According to reports there, one of the blasts took place outside security lines near ticketing passengers. The other possibly near an American Airlines desk in a departure hall at around 8 o'clock this morning, Belgium time. At least one said to be the work of a suicide bomber. Local media reports a third blast happened at a subway station not far from the U.S. Embassy. Right now, the city completely shut down all of the city's transportation. That does include buses, metro trains. At this time, there is no U.S. terror threat in place. The president has been briefed on this. He's expected to give a briefing in a couple of hours here. We will have that report for you live on CBS. All of this comes as the Belgian capital is on high alert following the arrest of the Paris attack suspect Salah Abdeslam. That was just last Friday. However, the big concern at this time, the alleged bomb maker in the Paris attacks has not been found or arrested. Officials will be analyzing the explosive devices used this morning to those of the Paris attacks to determine if these two are linked. As you can see, this is video just into our newsroom of all of the chaos as it unfolded right after the blast took place. We'll follow this story throughout the morning on air and through our KRQE News app.
6:35 now, and on to news this morning. The New Mexico Department of Transportation is trying to catch your attention again with a new ad on the dangers of drinking and driving. You've seen similar ads before featuring New Mexico State Police. This time, the video shows a drunk driving crash through the eyes of a real EMT, and the ad focuses on the victim of a DWI crash rather than the driver, illustrating the tragic consequences.
Some of it is the shock factor. I mean, some people might take a look at these spots and say, "Wow, this is stuff that really happens on our roadways, and we need to really think twice about the actions we're taking."
DOT says the ad campaigns have been working. They say drunk driving fatalities are going down. At this time last year, there were 31 DWI fatalities. This year, DOT says there have been 21.
On to this morning, there's a new third lane to help with congestion along one of Albuquerque's busiest stretches of I-25. There's a big problem, though. It is off limits for now, and it could be like that for years. Last spring, the state started building a third lane on I-25 in each direction from Rio Bravo down to the Broadway exits. That's by the Isleta Casino. Those lanes still need work, though, and they're off limits.
Temperatures dropped, and the remaining work to be done on that project is roadway final surfacing on the road and also the epoxy overlay on the bridges.
But that is not the only reason. The third lanes will not be open until a new $35 million Rio Bravo interchange gets done. That's to avoid bottlenecking traffic. That could take a year to 2 years.
A UNM football player accused of rape remains on the team this morning as authorities continue their investigation into exactly what happened. Coach Davey identified Nias Martin during a news conference yesterday for the start of spring training. Earlier this month, a 19-year-old female student told UNM police when she tried to leave Martin's apartment last month, he held her down, saying, "Don't fight it, I'm stronger than you are." Police say when investigators confronted Martin with his own text messages, he admitted to having sex with her while she repeatedly told him no and stop. Coach Davey says he's not taking these allegations lightly, but since no charges have been filed yet, Martin is still on the team.
Even if charges are filed, and I have no idea if they will or not, that still doesn't mean that you're guilty. But at this point, really what it is just accusations, although very public, are nothing more than just that.
Coach Davey says a team rule is that if you're charged with a serious crime or felony, you are suspended from the team until you can prove your innocence.
On to news happening today. Voters in Idaho, Arizona, and Utah head to the polls, all to decide who should be their party's presidential nominee. Last night, all 5 contenders did their best to set themselves apart during separate primetime appearances on CNN. Earlier in the day, all of the candidates except for Bernie Sanders addressed a pro-Israel IPAC conference in Washington. This morning, a California family says they will fight to get their daughter back.
Monday, after a 4-year-long custody battle, state authorities took the 6-year-old away because of a law that maybe few people know about. It's designed to help keep Native American children with tribal relatives. Little Lexi is part Native American, so a judge has ordered that she be sent back to live with relatives in Utah. The National Indian Child Welfare Association says the girl's family has been trying to get her back since 2011. The Pages, the family that her foster family that's been taking care of her, says they're going to take the case to California's Supreme Court.
Okay, listen to this story. This morning, a Texas man is alive, all thanks to some good Samaritans. They rushed to help him after this. His car became engulfed in flames. He was still inside after a crash. Police say the man was driving early Monday morning when he lost control and slammed into a tree. Witnesses say he fainted and was in the fire long enough for his clothes to burn off. Instead of standing by, though, two men, these guys right here, they decided to step in. The door was jammed, so they say they had to bend the frame to pull the man out. No word on the man's condition or what led to the crash this morning. He did survive, though. Again, all thanks to the quick-thinking bystanders.
I can't imagine having the strength in that moment, too, in the presence of mind to bend the frame.
Exactly.
But they did everything they could.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
And it's a good thing they did.
Yeah.